Old does not necessarily imply bad. First, jets can be well kept and maintained, and they still can be as capable as they were when they were first introduced. Second, they can and often are upgraded with newer and better engines, radars, weapons, and other systems, leaving only an old shell with entirely new capabilities. Third and most importantly, the majority of surviving aircraft of old models are of newer and more advanced variants introduced just before the model was discontinued. So we must remember that it is the pilot's infrastructure and tactics that win a fight, and that a fighter jet's characteristics such as age are just one of many variables on the battlefield. However, it is an intriguing variable. So let's see what are the oldest fighter jet models that are still operational, and remember this list is based on when an aircraft entered service and it must be a fighter. Number 10. Mikoyan Gurevich 25. The MiG-25, a much more famous high-speed interceptor introduced in 1970, first flew in 1964 and took 6 years to be deployed with the Soviet Air Force. Only a few of these once feared fighters are still in limited service with Algerian, Libyan, and Syrian air forces, and it is unclear whether the jets are even airworthy. Production of the MiG-25 series ended in 1984 after completion of 1,186 aircraft. Number 9. Sukhoi 17. This Soviet fighter bomber is actually a heavily modified fighter jet from the 1950s with swept wings and other improvements. It was introduced in 1970 and it primarily served as a fast ground attack aircraft. These are still in use by Vietnam, Iran, Poland, and a number of other countries. Syrian Su-22s have recently been heavily involved in the country's protracted civil war. Number 8. Dassault Mirage 5. The Dassault Mirage 5 is a supersonic attack aircraft designed in France by Dassault Aviation during the 1960s and manufactured in France and a number of other countries. Developed from the older Mirage 3 in 1967, the Mirage 5 was more ground attack focused, but it still retained good air-to-air capability as well. A large number of them served for the Pakistani Air Force, which heavily upgraded them through the years. The Israeli-produced version IAIK is also also operated by several countries. Number 7. Northrop F-5. One of few American, mostly export-oriented aircraft, the F-5 entered into service in 1964. Light and nimble, it was also relatively cheap and proved popular throughout the world. Upgraded variants are in service with many countries, including South Korea, Mexico, Iran, Taiwan, and Switzerland. There are main two models, the original F-5A and F-5B freedom fighter variants, and the extensively updated F-5E and F-5F Tiger II variants. Number 6. McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom II. Proving highly adaptable, it first entered service with the Navy in 1961 before it was adopted by the United States Marine Corps and the United States Air Force, and by the mid-1960s it had become a major part of their air arms. Phantom production ran from 1958 to 1981 with a total of 5,195 aircraft built, making it the most produced American supersonic military aircraft in history and cementing its position as an iconic combat aircraft of the Cold War. Number 5. Dassault Mirage 3. The Dassault Mirage 3 is a family of single dual-seat, single-engine fighter aircraft developed and manufactured by French aircraft company Dassault Aviation. It was the first Western European combat aircraft to exceed Mach 2 in horizontal flight, a feat which was achieved on October 24, 1958. The original Mirage was introduced in 1961, and it is hard to believe that this iconic flight was developed in the 50s. Now only the Pakistani Air Force operates Mirage 3s, mostly using them as a ground attack aircraft. Number 4. Sukhoi 7. The Sukhoi 7 is a swept-wing supersonic fighter aircraft developed by the Soviet Union in 1955. Originally, it was designed as a tactical low-level dogfighter, but was not successful in this role. The Su-7 was initially created as an agile supersonic dogfighter, but proved to be much more effective in ground attack role. It entered service in 1959 together with the MiG-21, yet was a slightly newer development. A couple of dozens of fighter bomber variants were delivered to North Korea in the 1970s, where they remain to this day in an unknown state of operability. Number 3. Mikoyan Gurevich 21. Like the oldest widely used fighter jet, MiG-21 and its numerous variants and derivatives still enjoy impressive popularity with a large number of air forces. First deployed by the Soviet Union in 1959, the fishbed was upgraded many times, and some say that with modern avionics and weapons, it can hold its own against far newer fourth-generation jets. While most prominent users, such as India and Romania, are planning its retirement, there is still a high chance that some air forces will retain the jet and keep it operational for decades to come. Number 2. Mikoyan Gurevich. The first Soviet supersonic fighter jet, the MiG-19, entered into service in 1955. The original model is long gone, remaining only in museums. But the Chinese-produced version, the Shenyang J6, is still going strong. It is one of the most numerous fighters in North Korean possession, and several others, such as Myanmar and Sudan, fly several of them too. Even the Chinese Naval Air Force keeps some as trainers. It is very doubtful that all officially operational J6 are in airworthy condition, but at least some very well may be. Number 1. Mikoyan Gurevich 17. The oldest fighter jet still in service today is the Mikoyan Gurevich MiG-17, a high subsonic fighter aircraft produced in the USSR from 1952 and operated by numerous air forces in many variants. It is an advanced development of the similar-looking MiG-15 of the Korean War, and over 10,649 of these aircraft were built, including Polish, Czech, and Chinese variants. The MiG-17 was licensed-built in China as the Shenyang J5 and Poland as the PZL Lim-6. MiG-17s first saw combat in 1958 in the Second Taiwan Strait Crisis, and later proved to be an effective threat against more modern supersonic fighters of the United States in the Vietnam War. And that's it from The Buzz for today. Thank you guys for viewing in. Don't forget to hit that notification and subscribe button for more videos from The Buzz.